Come on. Yep. Oh. 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 Well, how's it going? I gotta start this one out in a certain way. I'm pretty sure, almost by legal contract. Hi, my name is Rob. I'm an addict to auctions. Yeah. Hopefully my wife will accept that as an apology. So, what's going on, Rob? Why are we here? Why are we looking at this thing? Well, as you guys have seen, I do prep firewood for the winter. That leaves a lot of branches and everything that gets stuck around, and we throw those branches with the leaves on them over to the goats, but then we're stuck with a lot of sticks. And need to do something with these sticks. So what I did was I figured out that I needed a chipper. Catalina says I didn't need it, but I have it. But basically, what we have here is a good old Troy-Bilt Super Tomahawk. Woo! Not gonna lie, this might be my second time shooting this video. Had a little bit of corrupt footage, but what I know about the thing so far. Picked it up for a pretty good price on an auction site. Drove way too far to go get it. Realized that it weighs 1,000,000 pounds and loaded it up in the truck by myself. Had people stare at me in a parking lot as I did that. It was entertaining. No. And then from there, got it home and I started to look over it. I couldn't really figure out what year this was. The serial tag number is in here, and I'll show you it as we do a walk around of this thing. But it's all faded and you can't hardly read it. So I went off the serial tag numbers on the Briggs Stratton motor back here. It's an 8 horsepower Briggs Stratton motor. And I come to figure out that this motor is 1 month older than I am. Now, if you're not very educated in the way of small engines, they typically don't last a good 35 years. But, okay, the auction said it ran good and whatnot. As well, let's believe them, let's pick it up. Worst case scenario, I got it cheap enough, we could figure out what's something to do with this engine, and then we'll have a wood chipper again. But after getting it home, I was actually pleasantly surprised. So I'm going to go ahead and choke this. Catalina, you're not going to like this part. I'm going to fire up this engine, honey. You don't care. In case you guys haven't noticed, apparently Catalina has now become a part of the channel. And it's sort of weird that this is happening because I've been listening to a book called Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm on the 3rd series of the book right now. And one of the characters in there is called Princess Donut. And it's a cat. So, coincidence. Anywho, let's go ahead and show you guys how this thing runs. We'll go ahead, turn the ignition on. I already choked it. Turn the fuel on. Typically, Catalina has figured it out by now, but she's about to. And let's give it a pull, see what it does. I mean, 3 pulls into it. Hasn't ran in about 2 weeks, and it already tried to fire. Choke it again. So it runs good. It runs good. I believe them. But I've never used one of these before. Side note, branches go in here. Leaves and debris go up here. Let me say that again for everybody's safety note. Coming from the guy that got smacked in the face with a branch. branches up to 3 inches go in the small hole. Debris like leaves and twigs go in the top hole. Yeah, got smacked in the face. But after we do our little tour around this, what we're going to do is I got a new blade for this thing, since it is all original from the 90s. And if I can find the little vintage commercial, I'll even stick the vintage commercial in here. It's pure 90s commercial.
Sir. But now, the Troy-Bilt Tomahawk Chipper Shredder offers a modern, easy way to dispose of all your yard wastes.
But we're going to replace the blade. We're going to replace the belt on the back. It doesn't have a belt on it currently. And take you guys through that process. And then we're going to do a little bit of trimming up. But to get to that blade, we're going to have to remove this branch funnel, take off this guard in here, and then you actually have to reach inside there. And there's 3 Allen head bolts with nuts on the back of them, and it replaces one single blade inside there. And I'm not putting that belt on until my hands are very clear of this thing. There's enough stickers on this thing telling me not to stick my hands in things that I wouldn't stick other things in. And I believe it. I believe it. Especially after this thing smacked me in the face with a branch. That was not fun. It's not fun at all. All right, let's take you guys for the tour. Again, it's a Troy-Bilt Super Tomahawk. Yeah. It's good, or it runs good. Something about good. Like I said, it's from the 1990s. Literally about 91 or 92 is what this model year should be. Going off a serial number up here on the engine. This engine was actually made or manufactured in February of 1990. So it's 1 month older than I am. Like I was saying, bunch of warning labels, everything. I gotta say, for something being 35 years old and not typically being like something like a tractor or something that a normal person within a neighborhood might own, not really have the capacity to take care of that well. For being 35 years old, this looks amazing. It came with the insert your joke here tool. It came with everything. Even came with fuel inside of it and fired right up. So I can't complain at all. But it did not come with a belt. So there's a belt that goes down within here. Let me turn on the little extra light that I have on my camera. But this belt comes from off this pulley from the engine. And then there's a pulley down here that actually turns the bucket in here that has a blade and everything attached. And I guess you could call this a clutch. What this is really doing is it's moving an idler pulley inside of there, and it's just putting more tension on the belt until it spins it. It's pretty well known that these go through belts pretty quickly because of that. As you're jamming things down in here, like I learned the hard way, it'll jam up the bucket inside there, and then the motor is going to keep going no matter what, and it'll just bog down the motor and burn through the belt. So they're not built tough. They're built to get a job done and have some disposables. But down this branch bucket down here, you can see the plate at the end of that. As that plate rotates around, there's about a 3-inch blade that comes around and basically just takes slices like a pencil sharpener off your branch, and then it kicks it out down here through the grate and everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop in some headphones. I'm going to take off that branch bucket. I'm going to go ahead and remove the grate on the bottom, and then I'll bring you guys back in and show you what I'm replacing inside there. But again, no belt at all from the motor to the chipper until I get my hands completely out of this area. I want this completely assembled and nothing else happening. inside there before I ever touch that belt. I don't know about you, but if I sit there and all I can do is say, yeah, rock on, because I played with a chipper, or I can only point in that direction now, but no, I don't want to be that guy. And then you have to explain that you took the chipper to the fingers. I already took a chainsaw to the knee once in my life. That's embarrassing enough. All right, let's set you guys up on a time lapse and start taking this thing apart.
Well, I told myself last week I was finally gonna slow down, but one little auction later I was driving clear across
The
town.
teardown of this was not that bad. So this is our blade right here that we're replacing. We're going to replace this blade that definitely looks like it's original. Doesn't have much of a lip to it, with a brand new one. Ordered off that website that used to only sell books. Now they sell everything. But these are Allen head screws within here, and they look like they're trying to become round in general, which, you know, is always great. But hoping find the right size Allen head here. It's in between 1/8 and 5/32, so it might be metric, or that just might be full of gunk. Let's take a look here. Are you a 3? No, you look more like a 4. Yeah. So on the back side of this, there's a 7/16 nut, or 7/16 inch wrench on the back side. When you're sticking your hand in here, and this is why I was being so cautious about this, you see these thrashers inside there. Those are just bars that flail around and beat the living crap out of whatever you put inside this trimmer to basically just beat it up into a pulp. But all the way up in here, I've put the wrench on the bolt. I'm gonna have to scoot you guys over a little bit so I can reach my hand into the death trap like so, and then try to get these 1990 Allen screws that have maybe never been taken off here, and see, at least got the nut broke loose on that side. See if I can get these 3 bolts out of here and swap out this blade. But now the bolt's spinning inside there, of course. So I'm going to sit here, put you guys back on a time lapse, because all I'm going to do from here is remove these 3 bolts, swap out the blade, reinstall the 3 bolts, and then reassemble everything that I already done. And then we'll move on to getting the belt on here. So let's position you guys back up on a time lapse, show you that. But again, don't ever stick your hands in this area unless you know it's completely safe. So, all right.
Found a Troy-Bilt Super Tomahawk, rusty red and built like stone. Loaded it solo in a parking lot while everybody watched me groan. Catalina sitting on the fence line, judging every move I made. But that Briggs engine fired right up, older than me, for heaven's sake. Now I'm chipping branches, fighting sticks, trying not to take another hit to the lips. Got poison ivy spreading all over my face, but winterwood ain't gonna wait. Yank that cord, let the old girl roll. Lord, keep my hands out the danger holes. Yeah, life's a mess, but I suppose that's homestead living, and heaven knows I'm an auction action man with an...
I think I got you guys set up in there enough to actually see what I'm doing in this little tight area. I wanted to show you. This is the belt that I'm going to try to run on this thing. If you cheap out on these belts, you're going to go through them pretty quickly. I would highly suggest one with Kevlar in it or reinforced with Kevlar, because again, you're basically, well, have you ever seen the scene from Indiana Jones where they stick the spoke or the stick in the front wheel of the motorcycle? If not, here it is. Yeah, that's what we're doing to this trimmer, or this shredder. We're sticking sticks in here and trying to wear it down. But with that, we gotta sit here and try to fish this around these pulleys, which is not the easiest thing to do because, of course, with a high quality belt, it's also stiffer and harder to get this thing on there. But it's going to make a fool out of me and let me do it pretty quickly. So if you guys didn't see, I came up through this bottom hole down here where my fingers are, and then with the belt on this side of this pulley, and I weaved it all the way up onto this side of the pulley from the engine. Now, as I hit that air quote lever over here, you're seeing that pulley move in from the backside, and you see the belt get tight. That's what's making your solid connection between your engine and the bottom half of the shredder. So that's very important that you get around all three pulleys, of course. But let's say that you get a jam in here. This top pulley, unless it's just that big of a jam and you have that good of traction on your belt, is going to keep spinning. And it's going to burn up this belt really quickly as that bottom belt just freezes from having a stick jammed into it. So that's why I would always suggest, at least with this type of application, a Kevlar reinforced belt. All right. Well, let's get ready to use this thing. So, got our chipper sit here, and just to show you what I was talking about with that belt, this is one that probably only after 10 minutes of running it, just melted right through it because I didn't use the chipper properly. I had to learn that lesson. Sorry, I'm really trying to avoid touching my face because getting all the poison ivy over my face from doing the tree chop down has me a little freaked out. But what I'm going to do is go ahead, fire this thing up, use our little pruning DeWalt saw here, chop up some of these branches and feed them into this thing. And that's pretty much going to do it for this video. Now, I got to do it, but if you consider what you like here, go ahead and give the video a like. We do all sorts of projects here. A lot of farm work. Currently, I'm working on a barn find Farmall H that I'm getting ready to go in. Just to give you guys a little bit of preview of that. The Magneto definitely looks like it was soaked in a Titanic flood. So I'm working on that currently on the side project. I did a rebuild of a Ferguson, just getting it going from a stuck engine and been using that. And of course, every once in a while you're going to see animals. We got Catalina here. She is apparently my YouTube cat from now on. We got the goats, we got 5 dogs, we got 6 chickens. A little bit of a homestead. Not too bad, but a little bit of a farmer life. But like to restore things, like to give them a second chance, you know? So I'm gonna quit yapping, but if you could like, subscribe, that'd be amazing. Let's see if we can make some noise and make some chips. Yeah? Go ahead, choke this, turn this all on. Turn our fuel back on. Don't want you near this, Catalina. Engage our belt. Nope, I engaged it too quickly. Try that again. Choke it one more time.
Finds and danger holes. Took the chute off, pulled the grate, reached in deeper than I should have dared. 3 Allen bolts from 1980. Surprised they even came out of there. New blade shining like a razor. Old belt melted clean in two. Should've known you can't cheap out when the sticks jam and the clutch won't chew. Got goats yelling from the pasture, farm all H still waiting on me. Ferguson's running, splitters humming. This little place is where I'm meant to be. So I'm chipping branches, fighting sticks, trying not to take another hit to the lips. Got poison ivy spreading all over my face, but winter wood ain't gonna wait. Yank that cord, let the old girl roll. Lord, keep my hands out the danger holes. Yeah, life's a mess, but I suppose that's homestead living. Heaven knows I'm an auction man with an aching soul, falling for auction finds and danger holes. Sure, she's older than me, but that engine still sings. And I'll take a good old machine over half these modern things. One day I'll get ahead, but not today, 'cause I found another deal on the auction page. Now I'm chipping branches, fighting sticks, trying not to take another smack I'll regret. Catalina's over there guarding the tree. YouTube cat of the century. Yank that cord, let the tomahawk roll. Lord, keep my hands out the danger holes. Yeah, life's chaos, Lord only knows, but I wouldn't trade this crazy road just to man his tools and a heavy load. Falling for auction finds and danger holes.
Well, I'm going to say that you got a pretty good auction find here. I got less than 140 bucks and a very good running chipper. Is it brand new? No. Is the engine older than me? Yes. Is the entire assembly older than me? Questionable. But you know what? She still runs. She still does great. It's going to do exactly what I need it to do. Took me some learning on what to do with it. Needed a Kevlar belt. Needed to learn that this isn't really an option up top. If it can fit within the branch tube, put it within the branch tube. Always do that. And you guys saw why. That blade that we changed out is the only thing that's sitting here like a pencil sharpener, going through this thing and actually shaving down the branch as it passes by. And then it hits all those little tabs in there like a flail mower or an egg beater and beats everything else up. But this thing runs great. It does exactly what I need it to do. This brush pile back here, sadly, it's not actually that tall. It's all the ash at the bottom of it because we just kept burning our brush and trying to get rid of the ash with it. It's been tricky. So being able to get some mulch out of this thing, use this to fill in some holes around the property, or even just bedding for the farm animals. It's good. We'll use it. And let's take a look. Kevlar belt. She's warm, but she's nowhere near as bad as that one belt was at the end of that little run. So, awesome. Well, keep your fingers and hands out of the danger holes. And I'll see you guys next week. Oh, this is like the last warm day before winter. I'm not ready to be that cold.
Now I'm chipping branches, fighting sticks, trying not to take another smack. I'll regret Catalina's over there guarding the tree. YouTube cat of the century, yank that cord, let the tomahawk roll. Lord, keep my hands out the danger holes. Yeah, life's chaos, Lord only knows, but I wouldn't trade this crazy road just to man his tools and a heavy load. Falling for auction finds and danger holes.